All right, Bears fans, the trade rumors are off the rails, so if you want Russell Wilson, type me in the comment section because Bears Twitter has been on fire over the past 12 to 18 hours, and that's what we're going to talk about. So I expect to see 1,000+ comments on today's show. Just type me if you want Russell Wilson. Come on, you know you want him, so type me. And we're going to break this all down for the next 10 or 12 minutes, so stay tuned. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Just left Union Station in Chicago. The train was a little rocky, but I made it. Oh, no, wait. Those are the rumors from you guys around Russell Wilson because those have left the train station. They're off the rails. 4 smoking J's that the Russell Wilson trade speculation is out of control. My goodness, cryptic tweets have turned into, what's happening? Russell Wilson's going to be in Chicago tomorrow. Let's try and, make this realistic here. Let's try and be rational about Russell Wilson when it comes to the Chicago Bears. 4 smoking Jays that the rumors are out of control. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to trade for him. That doesn't mean the chances haven't increased because I actually think as more time goes on, that is true. More on that later on, but let's just kind of rewind the clock a little bit and look at the tweets that have somehow led all of you guys on Bears Twitter into thinking, hey, Russell Wilson to Chicago, it's a done deal. Josina Anderson, who's covered the NFL for a long time, basically just threw out a tweet. Still feel like the Bears need to make something happen at quarterback. Too much pressure, things going around 2021 for the front office, blah, blah, blah. Maybe Nick Foles could be part of a trade to another team. 2 hours later, Josina Anderson, welp, ... How do Bears fans respond? Wild tweets on Twitter. What's happening from Bears blogs and all kinds of stuff. Oh, and it doesn't stop here. It's not just Josina. Benjamin Albright, who has a radio show in Denver and has some connections in the NFL. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you can stop refreshing Twitter tonight, kind of hinting at, hey, something could be happening soon, but it's not going to be tonight. The amount of replies to this of like, oh, so tomorrow then, right? From like Bears bloggers. Off the rails. Okay, Brandon Robinson, remember our good pal who said the Carson Wentz trade was done and he ended up in Indianapolis? Bedtime, not done, parentheses, yet. So, something's happening, Brandon? Let's hear for it. Oh, he wakes up this morning, soon, ... hashtag Bears. This is just off the rails at this point in time. Louis Riddick, who I'm a big fan of, this is more of a rational type of thought because he's not just speculating crazy stuff, but he is speculating a bit. Maybe Seattle isn't as concerned as everyone else is about getting a QB in return for Russell Wilson, a la Detroit, LA Rams deal. In a trade scenario, just a thought thinking emoji. There's still a chance, Chicago. The hashtag there from Louis Riddick. Can we all calm down for a second? I'm getting hyped up just reading these tweets. Josina Anderson says, welp, ... after suggesting that the Bears need a quarterback. And now it turns into hundreds, if not thousands, of tweets on Twitter of something's in the works. The Vegas took the betting odds for Russell Wilson down. He must be heading to Chicago. Guys, take a breath. I need to take a breath. Let's calm down and think about this rationally. In the meantime, answer this question. Will the Chicago Bears trade for Russell Wilson? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Just because I'm not off the rails, crazy conspiracy Twitter theorist guy, doesn't mean the answer is no, but get your votes in. Predict it for me. Y for yes or N for no. I'll tell you what, if the Chicago Bears do trade for Russell Wilson or any quarterback, this is why you subscribe, because we are going to cover it here on this channel. Hit that link below. It's youtube.com/Bears. Now, I'll say this, the trade rumor speculation season, it's a whole lot of fun, and we break it down on a daily basis at this point here on Chicago Bears Now. So subscribe. Don't miss any of our videos. The Bears trade for Russell Wilson, I promise you, we will break it down here on this channel. So let's take the more rational approach now. A Russell Wilson trade. 2 smoking Jays. I have increased it from 1 to 2 because I think as time goes on, a trade from Seattle's point of view becomes more likely because it's getting weird that we're 3 weeks into this now. He remains unhappy, and Seattle doesn't seem that motivated or concerned with trying to fix the issues that Russell Wilson and his camp have brought up in terms of, okay, I want more input on the offense, can we improve our offensive line, those type of things. I think the longer this drags on, the more likely a trade could happen, and we know that, A, the Seahawks are at least taking calls for a Wilson trade, and the Bears have been listed as a team that Wilson would be preferred to trade to. Cowboys, they're out of the hunt. They just they just gave Dak Prescott a massive extension. The Raiders, they've cut 3 offensive linemen. You still think he wants to go there? I think they're sold on Derek Carr at this point. The Saints, they're in a bad cap situation. The Bears, it kind of feels like if he does get traded, the Bears are the front runner at this point. But again, it's still more likely he stays in Seattle, at least as of now. But 2 smoking Jays, I have increased my odds there. And then Russell Wilson, he's just trolling with everybody at this point. Now, big Christian Russell Wilson is. He always tweets out a Bible verse of the day. You don't think this is calculated from Russ? I promise you it is. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here. 2 Corinthians 5:17. You don't think he's calculated when he's tweeting that out? He loves this. Athletes do this stuff, man, especially those active on social media. They see what's going on. They can tell you all the time, I don't read the stories, the articles, the tweets. They do. Trust me on that one. Russell Wilson he's just loving this. He's just buying into I guarantee he Googled Bible verses that talk about a new beginning or something like that. Send tweet, everybody freaks out. We got to relax. We have to take a deep breath. I do think it's more likely today that he'll get traded than it was a week ago. I do think that is true, but to just assume that something is big time in the works, again, doesn't mean it's not, but based on these series of tweets, that's just reckless. That's putting not even 2 and 2 together. That's like putting 8 and 8 together. It's just there's way too many moving parts going on right now for me to buy into this at this point. I do think a trade feels possible, especially more possible at this point, but I'm not to the point where I'm just going to read a couple of tweets and be like, well, trade must be done. Brandon Robinson said so, it's in the works. It's a done deal. So more on this in a minute, but there's a lot going on here. We do have St. Paddy's Day gear on sale. This is something that isn't off the rails. This is just a great deal. Chatsports.com/BearsGreen. Go to that link. It'll be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Tons of green Chicago Bears St. Paddy's Day gear. Shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve. We got socks, women's gear as well. Take advantage. St. Paddy's Day is almost here. It's chatsports.com/BearsGreen. That link will be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Go ahead and take advantage of that deal today. I did briefly mention that some sportsbooks in Vegas did take down betting odds of where Russell Wilson will play next season, which that's at least curious, right? That's not nothing out there. Sam Panayotovich, who works for Fox Sports, I'm sure I didn't pronounce that, he's fully bought in. He had a bookmaker tell him that I've done a full 180. I'm all aboard the Russ to Chicago hype train. So what does that really mean? Nothing, right? It's all speculation from these guys on Twitter trying to put this together. I won't completely dismiss odds makers removing something like that, and some betting sites have also increased the Bears Super Bowl odds. So, maybe there's a little juice out there, but they're probably just protecting themselves, just in case something does happen, because Vegas is all about maximizing money. If Wilson to the Bears was minus or plus 800 or whatever, and there's even a slightly better chance that happens, they might pull that off the books and just protect themselves and see what happens over the next couple of days. I hope it happens. I think there's a better chance today than there was even a couple of days ago, but that doesn't mean something is in the works. Maybe it is, but not necessarily at the same time. So where will Russell Wilson play next season? Type SEA for Seattle, type CHI for the Bears, type O for others. I do think the Bears at this point are probably the most likely outside of Seattle, but Seattle is still the front runner based on his contract, based on him being a franchise quarterback. Get your votes in Seattle, Chicago, or another team. I did want to throw this in there as well. A couple of quotes and a tweet from some guys who cover the NFL. Jason Lockenfora, Take it with a grain of salt. He's wrong more than he's right these days. Well, sources say they, as in the Bears, are prepared to throw a boatload of picks at the Texans for Deshaun Watson or the Seahawks for Russell Wilson in an attempt to upgrade at the most important position in all of professional sports. There is a real sense of panic in that building, meaning the Bears front office. As one NFL executive put it, don't underestimate how desperate they are. And he's right. The Bears are a desperate team. Mike Garoppolo also replied to someone on Twitter asking him if he thinks a Russell Wilson Bears trade is possible. He says, not right now, but I'm not ruling it out eventually. That's kind of where I am. Like, I don't think it's more likely than it's not, but you can't rule it out. You absolutely can't, because the Bears are a desperate team. There's friction between Seattle and Russell Wilson, and it's also a weird offseason in which you're seeing teams cut good players too. Like, all kinds of weird stuff is going to happen this year with the salary cap being less than what it normally is. Stay tuned to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. We're going to break this down over the next several days until the Bears trade for a quarterback. We will talk about it every single day. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Take a deep breath. It's not happened yet.